and that is the Rudy Gobert trade to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think that the Timberwolves absolutely got fleeced. It's no surprise to me that Danny Ainge is running the show in Utah over there, and he was able to get this sort of return for Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, to me, excellent defender, arguably the most impactful defender in the entire league because of what he can do in the paint and just cover for so many of his team's mistakes. And I think inherently it's a good fit in Minnesota because they were not a very good defensive team, but he's not a great offensive player. You now have two bigs, and that's just sort of a weird fit with Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, their strengths are great with each other, but can Karl actually be a good four? That remains to be seen. And Gobert's contract is absurdly big. 4 years still left on the deal. In those years, it's $38 million, $41 million, $43 million, and $47 million in all of those remaining years. So 4 years still tied to him. I just don't think this move makes them any better than like the 5th or 4th seed out west. I really don't. And I don't think this move makes them a team that is going to make it to the NBA finals. I can't envision them winning the West with this roster unless Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and D'Lo have some really great internal development. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the Timberwolves. Fun little nugget. They are now the 6th most expensive roster of all time this upcoming season. That's just a crazy price tag to be paying for a team that, doesn't look like they're going to win the West. And that's not even mentioning the fact that they traded 3 unprotected first round picks, a top 5 protected pick, and a pick swap. Basically, with all those picks, and they included Walker Kessler, who was their first round pick this year. Malik Beasley's a really good, interesting player. Jared Vanderbilt, I think, is a very underrated piece as well. I just can't believe that Utah was able to get this price in return for Rudy Gobert, because it feels like if they were going to get anything in return for Donovan Mitchell, it would have been a package sort of like this. So kind of blew my mind. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I was in shock, especially the more details I read. At first, I was like, okay, all those picks. And then I was like, oh, man, they included Walker Kessler, too. It's just, I got worries about this team, like defensively in terms of the perimeter, because they traded Pat Beverly. Malik Beasley was in the defender. Now, like D'Angelo Russell, not like was he like an average defender at best? Let go of a lot of depth, and yeah, like all those assets for Rudy Gobert, who once again we know who he is on both sides of the court. Yes, he's a very good rim protector, probably the best, but there have been moments he's been played off the court in key playoff situations, and I don't think the Timberwolves could fix that themselves either, especially with what they gave up. I think Karl at the 4 is an awkward fit, like you mentioned. Maybe I think Anthony Edwards, he'll be fine, but yeah, it's an odd move, and this might end up being kind of like what happened with Brooklyn, the first whenever they traded with the whole KG, Paul Pierce, that whole deal too. So credit Danny Ainge, got a lot of value, like you mentioned. Just to end this point, I thought Gobert would go for maybe 1 first and like a solid player, maybe like 2 firsts. Did not expect a package like this. And I think I blame the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think this trade has caused a lot of logjam. So like everyone on Twitter is going, oh man, imagine what they get for KD. Like, I'm sorry, but this was supposed to be the KD package like this.
Right.
And I don't think I think this is just an outlier. I think it's just, like you said, the Wolves, I don't know if they're bidding against themselves. Who else were they bidding against? You know what I mean? And like you said, they drafted Walker Kessler, who was kind of already was like, his comp was like a Rudy Gobert already. And he actually already has potential to be a better offensive player. He had kind of a 3-point shot in college. So even if he's not close to the defensive player, even just a little bit, he still had more to offer flexibility wise. So yeah, I'm kind of in your camp. I don't understand this move for the Timberwolves. And unfortunately for any Timberwolves fan out there, I very much fear that this is going to be a franchise crippling move.
Yeah, I will say, final point, this removes any potential flexibility too, because they just signed Karl Anthony Towns to a supermax extension. Obviously, they're going to want to keep Anthony Edwards long term, but
who knows? Maybe
like, what if he wants to leave?
Yeah, what if he's done? He's like, man, y'all like this is a terrible. He already criticized Gobert before their teammates. Like, who knows? And then like you said, maybe he wants out. Like he's obviously out here playing football and such. So maybe he takes his talents elsewhere.
And I just think they would lack any leverage to really say no or try to get anything crazy, because like we just talked about, for the next 4 years, they are committed to Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert over $40 million each. They're the only team in NBA history to have 2 players that have signed contracts worth over $200 million. The only team ever. And we have serious questions of their ability to even make it out of the second round in the Western Conference. It's not even guaranteed they make it out of the first round. I mean, I mentioned on that little 90-second video, but I think the Warriors are better. I think the Clippers are better. I think, the Suns, like, they could be better, especially if they get Kevin Durant. There's just, the Mavericks are still a team to be reckoned with Luka Doncic, obviously. The Nuggets, when they get healthy with Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray and all the players that they have over there, like, are they better than them? I don't know. It's just tough. So I'm just not sure that this move is going to get the Timberwolves what they want. We'll see. I hope for Timberwolves fans the experiment works out, but I agree with you. This could go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history, and Timberwolves fans are really praying it doesn't.